tonight on CTV, a decision was made regarding the controversial Thornton pipeline.
Plus, you can now email people with your tongue. We'll tell you on how later.
And we'll see how the United Women of Color celebrated culture and style at last weekend's hair show. All this and more starting now on CTV News. Good evening, Rams, and thank you for tuning in tonight. I'm Edgar Cedillo.
And I'm Matt Leisman. Tonight we bring you an update on the train collision and more news from the people you know.
Horsetooth Mountain open spaces remain closed due to increased sightings of mountain lions. Larimer County Park Rangers closed the park on February 5th. The decision came after a mountain lion attacked a trail runner on February 4th. The runner was attacked by a juvenile mountain lion, but killed the predator in self-defense. Steve Gibson, district manager for Horsetooth Mountain, was unable to comment on when the park will reopen. The city of Fort Collins says it's working.
The city of Fort Collins says it's working hard to remove its carbon footprint. According to a 2017 municipal carbon inventory, the city, as an organization with more than 2,000 employees, has reduced its greenhouse gas emission by 21% compared to 2005 levels, which is 3 years ahead of the city's climate action plan. Lindsay X, the climate program manager for the city of Fort Collins, says the next step toward carbon neutrality will include community input. The city is proposing a new type of engagement during the creative process, instead of asking the community for input after the process. X says, "What we're really doing is taking an equity lens for how we develop the climate action plan this year, and a key best practice when using an equity lens is to co-create the scope with the community." To learn more about how to get involved with the development of the Climate Action Plan, you can sign up for the newsletter at fcgov.com/climateaction.
After months of deliberation on a water pipeline between Larimer County and the city of Thornton, a decision was finally made last night at the county commissioners' meeting. Last night, Larimer County commissioners all voted no on a proposed water pipeline between the city of Thornton and Larimer County.
To collaborate and work with you on a proposal that does meet these criteria, but I cannot support this proposal tonight.
The city of Thornton proposed a pipeline which would take water from the Poudre River and send it to the growing city in the North Denver suburb. But that didn't come with its concerns from Larimer County residents and commissioners.
The master plan established a partnership land use system, and to quote, it says to maintain and enhance our county's quality of life, and to be fundamentally fair to all our citizens, and to respect their individual rights. It's my opinion that there's some unfairness here. Some individual rights are potentially violated.
Those who were opposed to the pipeline were worried about the quality of the river as well as the city of Thornton interfering with property rights.
So I live on one of the proposed pipeline routes, but most importantly is my kids grew up with the river and my grandkids now tube in it.
The controversial pipeline, which had endured months of review and public comments, most in attendance last night were pleased with the no vote from. Continue with other plans for another pipeline in the future.
On Monday, CSU President Tony Frank presented his last Founders Day medal, this time to his mentor and former university president Albert Yates. Yates served as CSU's president from 1992 to 2003 and is remembered for re-emphasizing the university's land-grant status in his efforts to make CSU a nationally recognized institution. According to the Office of Institutional Research, Planning, and Effectiveness, in his first year as president, enrollment increased by about 3,000 students. During his tenure, the university saw an increase of 26% in enrollment. The university's 12th president was also the first African American to lead the university. He is recognized at CSU by the Albert C. Yates Leadership Development Institute, which is run through the Black and African American Cultural Center. The video documenting his time at CSU at the award ceremony said that his commitment to the diversity was an important facet of his development of the school. Yates reiterated the importance of inclusion Monday, saying, "It's our responsibility to be a university for all people. No one should be excluded. Anyone who's able to come to this institution, study, and be successful ought to be comfortable here." The National Cattlemen's Foundation awarded 2 CSU students with $1,500 scholarships. Olivia Wilrett and Bailey Morrill were two out of the 10 winners in the scholarship's nationwide search. For students pursuing
careers in the beef industry. Will Rhett, a junior majoring in animal science and agricultural business, was the overall winner of the scholarship with her essay titled Tracing Beef from Farm to Fork, about the traceability aspect of beef. Will Rhett also won the opportunity to attend the Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA trade show in Louisiana, where she was recognized as the winner of the Best of Beef Awards breakfast. Morrill, a sophomore studying agricultural education and political science, was also among the list of winners with her essay titled Be the Change, about agricultural challenges of water shortages and availability. Morrill hopes to remain involved in the industry even after graduation as an agricultural lawyer. Her goal is to help the public understand and give agriculturalists a voice. Morrill said, quote, "For once, I would like to see agriculture represented by a voice that truly understands and cares for the industry, like a voice like my own."
A new device for combating the effects of blindness and deafness is being developed in Fort Collins. Current and former CSU students have teamed up to found Sapien, a tech startup attempting to replace the senses of sight and hearing with strange sensations on your tongue. Last week, I went into their office to find out more.
Tucked away in a small office of CSU's Engineering Research Center is a tech startup that's changing the way we think about tongues. Sapien LLC, founded in 2014 by CSU's Dr. John Williams and his student Joe Moritz, is developing and researching sensory substitution technology. Sensory substitution is the idea that the brain can be trained to replace certain senses with new ones. The best example of this is Braille, which allows people who can't see to read using their sense of touch rather than sight. In much the same way, Sapien is developing the Cthulhu Shield, a device that sends electromagnetic pulses to your tongue to replace or aid your sense of hearing and sight. The shield uses a long, flexible electrode array with 18 electrodes on one end. By placing them on your tongue, you can receive small signals that feel like a fizzy drink. Research shows that the brain can be trained to recognize these signals as sounds or images. The array plugs into an Arduino circuit board, which attaches to the circuit board of the Cthulhu itself. Together, the two boards are able to turn signals into pulses that get sent to the tongue. For instance, when plugged into this motion detector app, each electrode has an equivalent box on the camera, and when something moves in that box, the electrode gets a pulse. This technology was first developed by Dr. Bach Irida of the University of Wisconsin, but Moritz says they've expanded on the research in some big ways. The shield can also sense the position of the tongue, meaning it can send and receive information at the same time. This allows the shield to be used for things like controlling a computer or playing video games. On January 31st, Sapien launched a Kickstarter for the Cthulhu Shield that has already been fully funded. Now, Moritz and the team are looking at ways to improve the design.
The code for Cthulhu Shield is open source, which means its future is only limited by the creativity of its users. Regardless, the Cthulhu Shield's future looks so bright, you can taste it.
If you're interested in the Cthulhu Shield, their Kickstarter will remain open until March 1st. I'm personally excited for the day when I can edit videos using both my hands and my tongue.
We have an update on some breaking news that we covered on Thursday. According to the Larimer County Coroner's Office, the victim was identified as 29-year-old Blake West. West, a Fort Collins native, was a Fort Collins native. His death has been ruled as suicide. Reporter Bella Roberts has more information on resources available to the public.
Services like counseling can be stigmatized, but we here at CTV value your mental health. If you or someone you know is struggling, there are resources on campus for you.
Full-time students receive 5 free counseling sessions each semester.
For me personally, it means just as much as any sort of physical health. If your brain is one of the most important organs that you have, and if you have any sort of chemical imbalance or issue within your mental state, it affects every other aspect of your life, so it's very important to me.
In urgent situations, CSU students have options to call an on-call counselor or access behavioral health services without an appointment.
According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, suicide is the second leading cause of death among college students.
So I'm new here, but since this is a school, I think people should have a positive view about mental health issues.
For after-hour emergencies, you can call CSU's Mental Health Crisis Intervention line at 970-491-7111.
Within CSU, I think that CSU makes a really big effort to normalize it, but within certain communities, especially I feel like the Greek life, fraternities and sororities, I don't think they put a big emphasis on mental health.
The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 800-273-TALK.
We encourage you not to be afraid to tell someone if you need help.
Thank you, Bella. There are resources here at the university in Colorado and across the nation for those affected by the incident.
It's the 4th week of the semester, and if you already feel you're falling behind, you're not alone. One of many campus resources available to students is UTurn, a program offered through the Institute for Learning and Teaching on campus that helps students manage their academics. UTurn is available to all students on campus who are concerned about their grades or want to improve their time management and study skills. The UTurn Academic Success Expo will be next week on Thursday in the Lowry Student Center North Ballroom from 10 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. The one-day event allows students to get one-on-one help with staff. If you feel this semester has taken a wrong turn, it's not too late to make a U-turn.
So I know you've been keeping up on the vaping ban, but I've still been seeing a ton of Juuls around campus. Any update on what campus is going to do?
Not really, honestly. I've been in contact with a few people from the Policy Implementation Office at CSU PD, and they've been relatively quiet for the past few weeks. The executive order came out in November to ban the vapes, and over winter break, they said they'd have a policy made. And on January 29th, they had a meeting that was supposed to kind of hash everything out, but we still haven't really heard anything.
Well, we'll see what they can come up with, hopefully soon, so we know what to do. Don't go yet. After the break, we have a special guest, Litos Castro, on weather, keeping us up to date on the weather that's flip-flopping.